Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. It is the pre-game of Lazio Juve, because we are back in Serie A after the Juve Inter of Coppa Italia. You know the result, 1-1. We didn't speak a lot about football in the last days, unfortunately, after everything that was and that happened, unfortunately. And we are here starting today's video with, again, the same message that we will never say enough. In front of racism, there is absolutely no shirt, no color of the shirt. We are against any form of racism. Now, hopefully today we can speak about football on the field, the people that will be called up for the game of tomorrow. That is important. The second in the ranking the ranking on the field, Juventus against the third in the ranking, Lazio. Lazio that is doing fantastically well this season. It's already a few seasons now that they are with Maurizio Sarri that is leading the team of Lazio. Ah, it's the cat. The cat is screaming. The team of Lazio that is doing quite well in Serie A, also because of the unfortunate season of Milan, of Inter, of Roma, that all of them have their struggles like Juventus had in the beginning of the season. Lazio is quite consistent and it will be a really difficult game in their home. We won the game against us and with a fantastic, beautiful performance, maybe one of the most solid performances in our home, but tomorrow will be a total different game. So I'm curious to hear to the words of Max Allegri that could potentially, for the very first time, except of Caio Giorgi, that is a long time injured, and except of Moiskin, that is suspended, having all his team at disposal. And when I'm saying all, potentially it could be also Pogba and Bonucci. I don't know if Max will risk them or not already to call them up, because it's still a travel. That's why the press conference is a bit earlier this morning. Speaking about the press conference and then traveling to Roma to start the pre-day with the last trainings and so on, la rifinitura, how you say it in Italian, before the game. So I'm really curious about the words of Max Allegri that will start in 30 minutes. We are here for 45 minutes, 1 hour, speaking about everything regarding Juve and hopefully a lot about football this time. Ciao to Stylerz in the chat, to Matt Benetti that is flying from Toronto to Mexico. He's saying, I'm happy because this morning I can finally catch a live. Grande Matt, ciao Stavros, ciao Sunny Bat, Rick Australia that is saying happy Easter to everyone from GOFC Melbourne, Gigi Buffon, family, saluti Beppe, ciao Rick, ciao Riccardo, and all the people that are Catholic, Christianism. Happy Easter to all of you. Long weekend and a lot of people are in holiday, so enjoy as much as you can. Ryan Cash is there, David Elitok, Daniel Perrone, good morning, Don Simon as well, Sir Raz Beppe, on my way to Paris, so no live for me. Enjoy, guys. Well, enjoy Paris. It's a fantastic, beautiful city if you know where to go and to travel, because Paris is big, but I have been there so many times in my life that I can guarantee you that Paris is a beautiful city. Dave, already awake super early in the morning, but Dave is one that is waking up super early, from the other side of the world in US. Ciao Naufal, Stavros, I hope we can get the 3 points against Lazio. It's going to be a challenging one considering their form. Yeah, it is, because we are playing against a fantastic, beautiful defense. Juventus has a great defense this year, except of some blunders like Atalanta or the game that we all remember, Napoli. But indeed, it will not be an easy one. If we go and look at the tables, let's see if we can see the goal difference. Lazio is at plus 25, Juventus is at plus 24, but this is not telling us all the truth, because I want to compare the goals that were scored and the one that were conceded between two teams. So if we go to the tables of Serie A, let me make it bigger. So Lazio, that is at 55 points, they scored 44 goals and conceded 19, while Juventus scored 46 while conceding 22. So Juventus, that is at the moment the fourth attack in Serie A. No chance to catch Napoli with their 64 goals. Fantastic season for them in terms of points, in terms of continuity, but also in terms of their attack. But then you have Milan with 48, Inter 47, and Juventus at 46. So we are at the level of the biggest attacks in Serie A with 44 goals scored by Lazio. In terms of defense, we are, if I'm not wrong, the third best one. After Lazio, the best one with 19, you have, again, Napoli with 20, Juventus with 22. Napoli 20, even if they conceded 4 goals against Milan in the last game. We will have to pay attention to Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. That will be a big battle again, as we saw in the first game against Rabiot. Future of both players is still a big question mark. If in last days we were all thinking that Rabiot was opening the door to a possible renewing with Juventus, well, at the moment it is absolutely on hold, understanding also the future of Juventus. Ciao BA, guten Tag South Freak, that is saying we can beat Lazio, we owned them in the middle of last game. They were also in a really positive streak. If I'm not wrong, both teams came from a 7 games non-conceding any goals. 2 teams that were in top form, and Juventus with Allegri was able to beat the team of Maurizio Sarri. It will be a different game tomorrow, where Juventus, after that mini international break, didn't really start it as we wanted. Even if we won versus Verona in Serie A, what was crucial and important, with the goal of Keane, well, the performance was not at their best, was not the best one that we could expect it, because it was a game that you understood clearly we were managing the energy for the next one, also with a big turnover. Well, the next game, we saw a bit the same problem. A Juventus that was managing energy. For what? I don't know. Maybe thinking about these 9 games in April that are a lot. But unfortunately, the 1-1 versus Inter is not something that is making all of us happy. So the Lazio game will be different. Lazio, if we are going towards the last results of Lazio, at least, they played 1 game because Maurizio Sarri can focus now on 1 competition only. And we know that that's something that he particularly like, focusing on 1, having all week to prepare it. Well, Lazio, they played versus Monza last game. They won 2-0, a game without too much problems for them. A goal at the 13th minute by Pedro, and then in second half at the 56th minute, a goal from Sergej Milinkovic-Savic that scored a banger we all remember. Samir wants an answer from Juventus. Well, I tell you, in terms of result, if you don't concede that stupid penalty at the end, the result was there at the end. If we are always speaking about vincere è l'unica cosa che conta, winning is the only thing that matters, we didn't win. So we can't be happy neither with the result, neither with the performance, even if we saw some flashes of Juve, especially in the end, that really wanted to go with that goal, and we found it with Juan Cuadrado. Well, a performance that was boring for both sides, but now it's another competition. We are back in another reality, and it's a reality that is called Lazio, because we are in Serie A. If you want to know what about the next game, well, the next game will be, if I'm not wrong, against Freiburg. No, so Freiburg, we already beat Freiburg versus Sporting in Europa League on the 13th of April. That means on Thursday. We should be less harsh on our beloved team. Well, yes and no. Yes and no, because you know that Juventus have 3 objectives. The first one, because we are out of Champions League, becomes Europa League with, at equal terms, Coppa Italia. Why am I saying equal terms? Not that they are both as important as they are, because Coppa Italia is Coppa Italia, Europa League is an international competition, so Europa League has more relevance than the Coppa Italia, but because if you are winning one of them, you are bringing back silverware in your cabinet, which last year, unfortunately, after 10 years of having trophies in a row, Juventus first team man was not able to do. So it's really important for Juventus to go and win all of the competition, also because it's giving you access to a European competition. Coppa Italia, you qualify to Europa League, you qualify to Champions League. What is the third objective? Well, it is making as many points on Serie A to remain at the top, to remain virtually in that top 4, even trying to catch that top 4 with the -15. Why? Because we don't know still yet today if the 15 points will be given back or not. Problem Vlahovic? Well, we will maybe hear it from the words of Max Allegri that we know it. He has a behavior of defending the players that have some difficulties and being a bit more harsh on the players that are doing quite well. actually trying reverse psychology. The ones that are in need, trying to help them as much as they can. The other ones trying to push them to do even better. So probably the question about Vlahovic will arrive. The question about the called up Pogba, Bonucci will arrive as well. What about Federico Chiesa? Will he be able to start from the game? Who will play in the attack knowing that Keane is absent? Will it be the start of Milik after convincingly entering against Inter? Because if we speak about the changes, well, the one that convinced us the most was Milik Arkadiusz. Ciao Intellectuals, who do you think has the tactical advantage? Sarri with his experience of Juve club, or the Juve players who play for him and know his tactics? It's a really great question. Well, who are the players that are remaining from Lazio, from Juve that played with Sarri? And you know it, when we start the press conference, of course, we will switch here. So thank you to the people that are also watching in replay. If you want to scroll and miss the first part, go immediately also on the words of Max Allegri when you will see that screen. Who is remaining from the team? Well, the goalkeepers are the same, even if Perin was not there, I believe, but he will not play. It will be Szczesny. Then you have Bonucci, but Bonucci will not start the game. You have Danilo that didn't play a really great season with Maurizio Sarri and played in a total different role because he was really playing as a right back when he arrived at Juventus, while today he plays as a center-back in a three-man defense. So it's totally different, a different Danilo. Also Danilo that is more and more a leader of that team, where it was the first season with Sarri. Gleison Bremer is new, Gatti is new, Alexandro is there, but also for him a new role in that Juventus. If you're speaking about the midfield, Rabiot is there, but Locatelli was not, Fagioli was not. If you're speaking about the subs, Paredes is not there, Berrenechea neither, who else? Miretti neither, so it's a total different team. Kostic is new. On top, Vlahovic, Di Maria, Chiesa, Sule, Ealing Jr., Milik are all new players. Probably Milik played with Sarri at Napoli, but I'm going out of memory. Maybe I'm wrong. And then you have a Quadrado. So you don't have actually that many players that remained. Yeah, I said Quadrado as well. That remain from his old experience. So I don't really see it. And also in terms of tactic, you know that Maurizio Sarri said it publicly so many times. He was and is allergic to a three-man defense. For him, it's a more pattern-wise of football where you have a structure and you don't change. If you have players that are not understanding your system, well, they have to adapt, while Max Allegri is more a coach that is more flexible, adapting to the team without having one precise way of understanding football. So it's two totally diverse way of seeing football. Of course, Maurizio Sarri came back after Allegri. If you are speaking about tactics, the history is saying that Allegri has a bit more advantage on Sarri, but one game is not the other. One game is not the other. We are playing in the Olimpico, a stadium that has a really warm tifo that will be there. They are doing really well. Lazio has nothing to lose at the moment. They have 55 points. That is 4 points over Milan, that is third in that ranking of today. That is 5 points over Inter and Roma, and even more towards Atalanta. So at the moment they don't have too much. What's up with the music? Which music, guys? You are hearing the music. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me know. Thanks. Was the music from the start? I know it's just now. Yeah. I'm really sorry about that, guys. Really sorry. It's because I was listening to the pre-game or the press conference, waiting for it to start. That will start in 2 modes. No. Don't worry, I will take it away. By the way, that's good that you tell me so that I can change my mode towards earphones mode. Let me check now if it's working or not. It is. It is working, so that you are not annoyed by it, and we have proper. All good. We don't want to get copyright claims. No, because in the beginning of the live, the intro music received copyright claims also. And it's a music that I bought, so I need to address that as well. But it is quite annoying. We have to pay attention. Ciao Maharaj. Ciao Beppe, good to hear you got your voice back. Yeah, finally. Let's stay together and support our beloved Juventus. Forza Juve versus them. Let's stay more together. I love the message of being all together. Good morning GTA. Arthur, ciao Beppe, come stai? Benissimo, grazie Arthur. Dennis, would you be happy with a draw tomorrow? No, Dennis, I am never happy with a draw or a loss. I'm never happy with something like it's not a win. The only thing that I can accept a draw if, for example, you are playing the last game of the season and you miss 1 point to win the Scudetto. Then I say I'm happy with a point because that qualifies to win the Scudetto. Or if you played, I don't know, you won a game home versus, I don't know, Freiburg, for example, you are playing the return and the draw is qualifying you. Even if I'm not really entirely happy because I really want to win. But then if you're looking at the total picture, well, I can accept it. But tomorrow, no, because tomorrow we have to win. Then if you're telling me, Beppe, you're losing 3-0 at halftime, hey, Beppe, do you sign to come back at a 3-3? It's a different story. But starting on a 0-0, no, I'm not. I don't sign for a draw. I'm not happy with a draw. No. Ciao Zlatko, ciao Vincenzo, ciao Alessio. Ciao BT! A lot of people, guys, 100 people. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful this morning to have all of you on the chat. Really beautiful. Nice. If you could put the maximum of like, that would be even better because we are at a ratio that is really not beautiful. 36 likes for 108 current viewers. We can do better. We can do better. So I'm waiting for Max to arrive, and when he arrives, we will switch. You know what? Let's prepare already. Let's go here. I will put the voice one when he will start to speak, but at the moment we are waiting. Anyway, I'm happy. I think I heard a voice, so maybe they are arriving. Maybe they are arriving. Ciao Zlatko. I'm curious. Guys, can you tell me, Pogba, called up or not called up? Or you have 3 options. Will he be called up? 1. Will he not be called up, or we don't know? Because we don't know, maybe he will say, Pogba, called up, not called up, Max will not answer. And we go, three options. They are a bit late, that's strange. You can vote now, guys. A lot of people called up. You know that I'm still doubtful. I think personally, I'm not sure. I think he will say Pogba trained with the team as Bonucci tomorrow. No, tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. It's today because today they travel. So we will have the answer today. Here they are. Max Allegri is there. I will translate as usual. We start. Good morning, mister. Lazio is having a beautiful moment. What is the strength of Lazio and what is Juventus need to pay attention to? So, Max Allegri. Before answering, we wanted to wish the best to President Silvio Berlusconi. And a big hug. Hopefully, we can have him as soon as possible back. Speaking about Lazio, Lazio is a team that is doing a good season, a solid season. At the moment, they did 54 points, I believe 55. Juventus 59. So it's a big clash for the second spot. Sarri went back to the origins. When he was actually pointed out as a really great defensive football. So tomorrow it will be a difficult game. Giovanni Albanese. I will come back on that one because I didn't translate really well. Oh, I've put on pause just a second. So he spoke about Sarri. He said Lazio is doing a fantastic Champions League, really solid. And it's nice to see Sarri coming back at his origins, where he was rewarded for his really great defense. Not defensive football, so I'm wrong, but for his really great defense. Now we have the question of Giovanni Albanese that I heard. Altaletcolas, please. No. guys, we are speaking about someone that is suffering, that is at hospital, that is suffering from leukemia. No sickness is nice, but that's dangerous. So please, avoiding these kind of things about speaking about sickness of people. You can agree, you can disagree with Berlusconi, with his political views, with his sporting management views about his past, but on that one, let's pass over that. So the question of Giovanni Albanese is about Vlahovic, that is not in a moment where he's scoring a lot of goals. Let's continue to listen to the question, then we continue. Will he start from the bench or not? Allegri, about the lineups, I didn't decide yet. After tomorrow's training, I will decide. I need to see Pogba, Bonucci, that worked with the team. I need to see who recuperated from the Coppa game on Tuesday. The two kids, Ealing and Barrenechea, will not be there because yesterday they played. So Ealing and Barrenechea not there because yesterday they played with Next Gen. And yesterday was a really important game for the Next Gen, because Next Gen is the only team that can possibly... So the game of yesterday was really important and made them also grow mentally, because it was super important. Wait, let me check back. Sorry for that. Last time I asked some stats about Real Madrid and Barcelona. He asked to see them. Let's see what he's saying. I saw a lot of appearances of Real Madrid players. If you are curious, go and watch them. Carvajal has 101 or 103 games in the second team. In Italy, we are still a bit behind. We need to accelerate a bit on that. So we hope that the ones from the Primavera, not Juventus, but the system Primavera is understanding it. I will come back on that because it was a bit confusing and I understand his message. So, speaking about the decision of the Sporting Justice of Italy, what is your opinion? So Max Allegri is saying, let's start, because what happened on the field is ugly to see and hopefully we will not see them again because we don't want to see them. We, as coaches and managers, we have to be great examples. The most important thing is that in less than 24 hours, Juventus already identified the ones that did racist insults. And especially Juventus is a team that is fighting against all form of discrimination, against all racist behaviors, that is against white persons, against whatever color of person. Juventus is fighting against racism, and racism is equal. So Juventus is fighting and is trying to be an example. So what happened is really an ugly image for football. And it's really strange because after 95 minutes of a chill game, everything happened at the end. And indeed, it was Juve Inter. That being said, now we have to think about Serie A, and we have then to think about the 26th of April. So now it's Serie A. That's the focus. What about Chiesa? Has he the 90 minutes in his legs? Chiesa is doing better. When he entered against Inter, he entered well. Tomorrow I will have to decide if he starts or on the bench. So I need to decide, because on Thursday we have another game. We have to manage the energies. In defense, there should be some changes, because these players played a lot. So in defense, there will be some changes. Alexandro, is he ready? Or will he have to wait a bit? And does it change if Immobile is playing, yes or no? So Max is saying Immobile is a player that is totally different as the other strikers that Lazio has. He's last year he was a capocannoniere, so the best striker of Serie A. According to Alexandro, he's doing better. It could be the game of Alexandro. So what about Gatti, Agresti? Max, he is doing really well. He needs to play faster with the ball when he's passing it, but all the team, not only him. Tuesday we did well as a team. On that second half, we need to become better, because there were some things that we didn't do that well, and we have to do them better, and we have to improve for the next game. About Sarri, question. Sarri is one of the few that won the Scudetto and was not reconfirmed for the next year. What do you think? What do you think missed to Sarri to actually be renewed? And Max is saying it's not true. The question is wrong, because there are two coaches that won the Scudetto and were not renewed as well. Me, so it's not only Sarri. Myself as well was not reconfirmed after winning the Scudetto. So he's saying, the observation, the demand, the question is wrong. Oh, Max is saying, I'm a bit confused today, I'm a bit strange today, because I have a bit of a cold and so on. So that's also why I'm translating in a really strange way, because he's starting, then he's stopping, then he's going, then he's accelerating, then he's changing subject. So I'm not crazy, guys. Today it's really strange, but not for me, but because of Allegri is taking really, really big stops. So let's continue. Now, the thing that Sarri is showing this year is that his team is much more solid than the year before, and the numbers are showing it. You praised the characteristic of Lazio, of Sarri, but Juventus is a lot of time suffering against Lazio in their home, and Sarri is always suffering when he's playing against Allegri. What game will it be tomorrow? So Max is saying, I hope we don't see a 0-0 with 0 shots on targets. But it's difficult to attack Lazio. It's difficult to score against Lazio. It will be a balanced game. Don't forget, 10 games are missing, and that the games and the points are really, really starting to be really important now. Going back to the sporting justice, the question. Quadrado. What happened with Quadrado? And then also about the curva that is closed. Can you come back on these episodes? I want your comments about that. Question from the journalist. Max. My comment, well, I don't have to comment because there are the competent people that are deciding about that. And what about their writing? We take our decisions. But we have to think only about football. Let's not be distracted by the things that are happening off the field, because it will not be the first, neither the last one. We have to be better in maintaining our calm. Same for me. After the Salernitana game, I was not showing the good example. We have to be more calm. And a lot of time we are making things even bigger than they are. it's a pity that happens. Now let's focus on the next one. About Quadrado, makes no sense to understand or not the situation. He took 3 days. So for him, the Serie A is over because he took 3 days of suspension. Rai Sport question. Advices to Sarri about what happened in Lazio. I have nothing to tell him. If I can speak only about Juve, because okay, now the question was about, you know, what happened with Lazio that also started to be investigated, you know, like Juve was. And he said, look, I have no advices to give for Sarri. Juventus is defending themselves off the field with the capable people, with the management. I have no advices to give to Sarri. But it's a really strange question. You know, the question from the journalist is, can you give an advice for Sarri how to manage the situation with the players? How actually Max Allegri did. Really strange question. I don't understand the question, but anyway. What happened, or what was missing to you and to Sarri to be reconfirmed after winning the Scudetto? He said, I don't understand. At that moment, it was right to divide. And he said, at that time, I had a contract. We divided the opinions, and we stopped, and it was correct to stop. So no other questions, guys. A really strange questions from the journalist. Seriously, I will take this off, guys. Seriously, really strange question from the journalist. Give me 1 second. I will do all the recap from the only info that we received, because honestly, we didn't receive a lot of info. I need to call my wife. 1 second, and then I come back. So one second, and then I tell you. I'm sorry, I'm back. No, family is important, guys. Huh? So, press conference, guys. Honestly, a really strange press conference with strange questions. Look, what is important to recap, and I'm really sorry, I try to do my best. Usually it's much better than that, but today, and the questions were strange, and the topics were strange. We didn't speak about players of football or the game. Really strange. Also, Allegri was not 100%, apparently. He was coughing. He said probably, he didn't say, but probably has a bit of fever, so he was not 100% convinced how he's speaking fluently, and that made me a bit in difficulty. But okay, let's recap. What we know, Ealing Jr. and Barrenechea will not be called up for the game of tomorrow. Important. Why is it important? Because yesterday they played with under 23, next gen, and from now on let's call it always next gen, because now you know what is next gen. In the beginning I was always doing the link, but now you know. So they are not called up with the next gens. No, mamma mia, they will not be called up with the first team, because yesterday they played with the next gen. Yesterday, a super important result for our next gens, because you know it, that our goal is to qualify to the playoff. Because if you are in the 10 first positions, you qualify for the playoff with a chance, if you play a really long journey, to qualify for Serie B, which is really difficult, But anyway, we still have, after the game of yesterday, we still have 3 games. The final in Coppa Italia in Tuesday, the return game, because the first one we lost 2-1, so we will have to win in the home of Vicenza. And then you have 2 remaining games in Serie C. It's super important to win these games. Why? Because otherwise the season is over. The good thing is, if you win Coppa Italia, you qualify also for the playoff. If you don't win, you have to qualify in the 10 first spots. Otherwise, the season is over for all our youth. So that means that their development, their thing, it's over. You can't play games anymore. If you continue to win, if you qualify, you have more games. Important for the development of our youth. He said it's really strange because, you know, you can qualify to Serie B, you can't go back, but it's really dangerous because for us, not qualifying to the playoff is a bit like relegating. But I was looking at some stats from Real Madrid and Barcelona about their first team players, how many games they played with their youth. A lot of them played 70 games. Carvajal played 101 or 103 games with the youth team, which means that there is a big difference with Italian teams, with Italian mentality about how to manage the youth, because you know it, the youth team squad, the B team of Real Madrid is playing in professional league. And now we are thinking with the Italian system that the Primavera, the youth, not professional game, but the youth academy, the under 19s, to even increase the maximum age to under 20, and this is something totally wrong. So Max was speaking about that again, saying that there is a lot of work to do on the youth academy in all Italian system. Because if we want to have these players playing immediately in first team with a lot of confidence and so on, with already a lot of experience, well, look at Real Madrid, Carvajal, 103 games with the B team. For us, we are far from these numbers. But that's another story. So Ealing Jr. and Barrenechea will not be called up. What does that also mean, Barrenechea? Because it was an important game. It was a must-win game yesterday, and we won 1-0. But Barrenechea, that is one of the midfielders that we are always calling up to be with us. That means that we are opening the door to have Paul Pogba at disposal. If I understood well the words of Max Allegri, tomorrow or today in the called up list you will see Pogba, but tomorrow we will decide if having him on the bench or not. But the good thing is that and Pogba and Bonucci will travel with the team. And that's also why Max agreed to send Barrenechea with the second team. So Pogba called up, well, 99% this afternoon you will see the name of Pogba in the list. 90% you will see him on the bench tomorrow. But that depends of the last training of tomorrow, if yes or no, he's feeling comfortable. If there are no doubts, then he's going on the bench. Then we risk nothing. So the big word is no risk. Ciao, grande Aiki. Grandissimo Aiki. Autolectorals. Beppe, what happens if next gen is promoted to Serie B and, God forbid, first team is relegated to Serie B? That's not possible to have 2 teams. No, you can't have 2 teams in the same Serie A. In the same league. It's impossible. So probably then one remains in 3rd division, one goes in 2nd. But again, hopefully it doesn't happen. But no, you can't have 2 teams in the same league, which was also the rule for Salernitana and Lazio. Same president, but they made an exception there, giving and postponing the time that Lazio was able to sell Salernitana. Or find new owners. Really strange, but anyway, that's another story. Let's focus on ourselves. But no, the rules are that you can't have 2 teams in the team, same thing. There will be rotation in defense, and he also said about Alexandro has possibilities that tomorrow it's his game, so we can think about Alexandro being in the team. And then Chiesa, we will evaluate tomorrow if he can start or if he can be on the bench. So what do we understand with that? That Chiesa has not the 90 minutes in the legs and probably will not have until the end of the season. But we understand that for tomorrow he has not the 90 minutes in the legs. But that Chiesa could potentially start. So that means that he has probably 45 minutes at least in his leg, 45, 50, maybe 60 minutes. But depending if we start him or not, it all depends. What about Vlahovic? Well, he didn't really answer about the question of Vlahovic. He didn't really spoke precisely about Dusan Vlahovic. That was one of the first questions of Giovanni Albanese. That's it. Otherwise, he spoke about the questions were really stupid, like why was Sarri, what was missing to Sarri? Because if we are looking at the stats, he's the only coach at Juve that was dismissed while winning the Scudetto. What was missing to him to be reconfirmed? First of all, I don't understand why. What are they expecting as an answer from the coach of Juve? First. Secondly, if you're thinking about it, and that's what Max said, he said, no, it's not true because your information is not correct because I have always also been dismissed while being the coach that won the Scudetto. So really strange. Then they came back with the same question, what missed to both of you to be reconfirmed. Really strange. Then they ask about the situation, off topic, that they are now starting to investigate a bit. Lazio, what is your advice to Sarri to manage his team? Really strange questions, guys. Seriously, really strange. Really strange. But I don't know, guys. Honestly, I don't know too much about what to say. Rick is a bit worried about the game of tomorrow. yes, we knew it. April not only is difficult because of the quantity of games, but we also know that April would have been difficult in terms of quality of games. So that means that except of Verona, that on paper was a bit the easiest one, and attention, because there are no easy games, but on paper as name was one of the easiest one. We knew that all the other ones would have been really difficult. So yes, I totally agree. Now let's try to understand how we can potentially play tomorrow. Perin will be again on the bench, and Szczesny will start the game, okay? Because Perin played well in Coppa Italia. So there will be some changes here, he said. Keane is not there. So let's try to understand. Let's try to understand who can potentially play tomorrow, knowing that on Thursday we play Sporting, but the good thing is it's on Thursday. So that means we play on Saturday. We have Sunday to recuperate, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Are we playing the first against Sporting at home, or are we playing? Yeah, we are playing at home, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, we are playing at home. So that means that we don't even need to travel. So you have time to recuperate. So I don't believe that we will do a rotation inside of Sporting because you have time to recuperate. So here we miss one player up front. And we know that here the defense will change. Knowing that Bonucci is not ready to start, I think that Bremer has a spot to play. Knowing that Alexandro will start tomorrow. Alexandro can play only one position, okay? Here. There is one that could potentially rest. So, or Gatti or Danilo. I think, personally, that tomorrow, I think that tomorrow, Danilo is the one that could rest. Yeah. Are you agreeing with me? Let me know, huh? I think that Danilo could rest tomorrow. Thinking logically. Alexandro starts. Bonucci is not ready to play in that three-man defense from the start. Rugani, I don't know if you play him immediately against Lazio in a big game. Gatti, he played 3 games, guys. He didn't even travel with Italian national team, so I don't know why Gatti would rest now. I'm not doing the lineup that I want, that's important. I'm doing logically thinking what Allegri has in mind. Well, logically thinking, Gatti didn't travel with Italy. He played, 3 or 4 games consecutively. He played versus Freiburg. Well, he played versus Inter. Well, He played, it's his 4th game as a starter. He played Verona and now he's played. I don't see the need to rest him. So for me, these 3 they play with Danilo on the bench, and I see that Rick and Hanin, they agree with me. Then Ailing Jr. is not there. Kostic plays tomorrow. Rabiot, he was suspended against Verona. He played only 1 game since he came back, and he's one that when he's there, he's playing. Rabiot plays. I think that Locatelli will have his spot. I think that Fagioli starts the game as well. The only doubt is who plays. You know that you have that mix between De Sciglio, Quadrado. Tomorrow, I believe that Quadrado could start on the bench because of the nervous moment, the 3 days suspension. He could potentially start on the bench, also to give some balance on the wings. Unfortunately, De Sciglio protecting Gatti a bit more, and Kostic attacking a bit more here, with Danilo that is protecting him. And then you have a lot of options. I think that tomorrow, guys, maybe I'm wrong, thinking how Max would think, I think that we see again these 2 guys. Why? Keane is not there. Who are the other ones that are at disposal of Max? It's Chiesa and it's Milik. You can even have Sule, and you can potentially put Miretti that can play in that 3-5-1-1. Okay, these are the guys at disposal of Max for the striker position. Even Miretti, but then you are playing much more defensively. If we know, I'm just thinking out loud, logically, guys, that Lazio is a team that scored more or less the same goals as us, but it's the best defense in Serie A with only 19 goals conceded. We need to do something. I think that we see these 2 guys again from the start. Why? Because they didn't convince from the start against Inter. Because if you kind of punish them with remaining on the bench, psychologically it's not the best that you can do. If you start them on the bench, you will also lose them to enter the game, because they will not enter with probably a clean mind. They would want to enter and to do things on their own. So I don't see them start. I don't see them starting on the bench. I think that this is the lineup that we can potentially see tomorrow. Not a lot of rotation. Who rotates? Danilo, Quadrado, and then you have these. Yeah, I think they want to prove something. I think they really want to prove something. I think that logically you want to put them, and if really it's not working for the 3rd consecutive games, you can change them, and then you can have a Milik, can have a Chiesa, you can have eventually a Sule, you can have a Miretti, you can potentially also have a Pogba from the bench, not Keane because he's not there. So you have some options on the bench. You have even a Quadrado that can enter, changing you the game. You have a Paredes. You have a Danilo. So you have a really strong bench tomorrow. Rick wants to see Sule play. But me as well. He did really well in Serie A against Inter, but we know that we didn't have all our players at disposal at that day. So now that you have a lot of players, psychologically, I think that this can be the lineup that we start tomorrow. You agree with that one? That it's not the one that you want or not, the one that we can see tomorrow, that probably Max has in mind, except, of course, if some players are a bit more tired. I don't believe that with that lineup, you can see a Miretti starting. I think that you have to continue on the wave of Fagioli doing fantastically well. So, okay. Okay, guys. What do you think? A bit tricky for versus. Yeah, but Lisbon, you still have days, guys. We play on Saturday. You travel back, but you will travel back the day himself late. You arrive at home. You have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even Thursday morning, because you don't travel. So you really have nearly 1 week to prepare. We play it on Tuesday. We play on Saturday. So you have a lot of players to rotate. You have the energies. You didn't play in the last 2 games at your full potential in terms of energy. Then I'm not with them in training session. I don't see any physical condition problem in terms of, yeah, of course, the preparation was not the best one. But I don't really see an excuse to say we are super tired. I will say the same at the end of April, not tomorrow and not versus Sporting. Not yet. Chiesa from the start could be a solution. Could be a solution with Chiesa from the start. Fagioli is a beast. Yeah, he's strong. Guys, I didn't even speak about it because unfortunately we had to speak about other things. I watched him live. When he has the ball, he's really super impressive. Ciao, Alex Messi. That is name is Adriano. Ciao, Adriano. Come ci va? Yeah, of course we need to beat Lazio. We need to beat them a lot. So these were the words, guys. I'm really sorry. I can translate. I cannot speak or I cannot ask the questions to Max Allegri. I hope that one day we have Max Allegri on Twitch so that I can ask him the question myself. But at the moment, it's the journalists that are asking. And, I respect the journalists because a lot of time they are asking good questions. But today, a lot of them were really strange. A lot of them. Actually, the only football question was asked by Romeo Agresti. The only question was from really football was asked by Romeo Agresti, who asked, what are the growth, what are the progresses of Gatti? How did you see him in these 4 games? And he said he's doing a fantastic, I'm exaggerating. He's doing really well. He needs to accelerate the tempo of his passes, accelerate the play. But he said not only him, the entire team needs to learn and grow on that one. But that's something that he led. You see, so this is football. Here you're speaking about football, qualities of players, where you need to do better. And then you speak about football. But then what advice do you give Sarri out of the field? Why was he not renewed? Strange. Oh, good question, Vincenzo. Good question. Fantastic question. If tomorrow, this is the lineup, Bonucci is not starting and he's not captain. Danilo is not captain. Cuadrado is not captain. Then it's Alexandro. I don't believe, guys, that this season you are taking away that 4th spot of Alexandro as captain. 300 appearances, 301, I believe now, for Alexandro. It's important. Also, the season of Alexandro is not a disaster. As we said in the last seasons, he gave his contribution to the team with some great performances, with some average performances, with some mistakes as well. But it's far from the Alexandro of the last 2 or 3 seasons. It's a total diverse Alexandro. Then you can still speak about, yes, strong, not strong, fantastic, whatever. Do we need to renew or whatever? But yeah, I believe Szczęsny could be captain as well. But I believe that if Alexandro is playing without Bonucci, without Danilo, without Cuadrado, it's Alexandro. Then you have potential other captains. You have Szczęsny, you have Locatelli in that team. You potentially even have Rabiot. Michael, gonna be late for work. Ciao. Hey, no, work is important, Michael. Go. No, I'm rounding up. Ahmed Beppe, how are you doing today? Are you taking Nima to court for defamation? No, guys. No, guys. No. Hey, this is what it is, guys. You know, today, when you are a public figure, when you are someone that is speaking publicly, you really have to pay attention on everything that you are saying, because whatever you say can be taken out of context. You can make a video with a good intention, speaking 90 minutes about fighting against racism, saying that racism, you have to put aside the color of your shirts, means there is no Juve, Inter, Milan, Manchester City, Barcelona, and so on. No, let's not play the same game, guys. Let's not play the same games. Let's absolutely not play the same game. Let's not fall into the provocations, because taken out of context totally. I'm working for Juve. On my channel, I'm not representing Juve. You know, I never took any advantage of it. I'm speaking about GJustjuve, but it's part of it. It's unfortunate that words were changed, even if it's literally what I said. But when you cut the post, it looks like I'm trying to find excuses for racism, while since 3 days since the opening of the channel, I have always fought against it. It is what it is, guys. Yesterday I answered saying it was not right, personally. That was my only answer. And then I posted a video saying, look, the real message was something else. And that's it. And people that wants to, they can believe. There is the material available. The video is online. You can go and watch. People that do not want to, it's difficult to change mentalities. What I will try to do is continuing to spread my message, that is, represent your team, defend your team, love your team, banter other teams in a respectful way, dislike other teams because they are competitors, because it is what it is, because this is the beauty of football, but with values and paying attention to the serious thing of the world, because you know it, and that's one of the claims also of the channel, because I fell in love with that sentence when I saw it. But football is the most important thing of the non-important thing. I said it, I repeat it. Lukaku being tackled, or that Lukaku tackled and didn't receive a red card, who cares at the end? It's not important. It's not important at all. It's a game. You live with passion. I would have loved that we won that game. It is what it is. So, but it's how can I say? It's dangerous, huh? Because you can clip whatever I say. You can even now use artificial AI. Voila, it's easier to say artificial intelligence to change people words. You can put them on pictures. You can cut videos in, out, whenever you want. 20 seconds or 40 seconds of an entire 90 minutes, giving a total different context. It's dangerous. But, you know, I have so many beautiful things on the channel. I try to spread the message of positivity. You know, I am against the hashtags outs. You know, I am like, let's defend our players. Let's not whistle them when they are in. Of course, you are sometimes angry and you are exaggerating sometimes when you are in post-game. But the live of yesterday or 2 days ago was not a live where I was here full of emotion. I spoke sending a message of let's fight disgusting things and let's find the guilty people. Anyway, let's not fall, let's not provoke. It will never change. It will never change. Unfortunately, yeah. I did my part. More than that, it makes no sense. Because more and more and more I will ask, or I will repeat, they will people that do not want to, they will find. They will go back to 2020 tweets, mistakes. They will use them against you. Even if you said sorry, who cares? Even if the truth is something else, who cares? They don't care. So it is what it is. So let's be happy with the community we have, and let's try to be examples of humans before examples of Juventini. Would be really beautiful. Anyway, thank you, Andrew. Andre, thank you, Rick. Thank you, Ziad. Ah, by the way, if you never saw the movie, it just released not so long time ago, Tetris on Apple TV, I really highly recommend it to you, because yesterday, while everyone was speaking bad about me, and they probably continue today, I said, you know what, I don't care. Let's watch a movie so that we are thinking about something else. A fantastic, beautiful movie. A story that I was not really aware of. I knew it came from Russia and so on, but I didn't know really the specifics of it. I really loved it. I really loved it, and Tetris is fantastic, guys. Anyway, thanks, and grazie a tutti. Dai, forza!